Going guys, back again. Second episode. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a rundown of the patrol that I've done. So, like I said, I did the chop by myself. I've never ever done it before, so I thought, well, there's only one way to find out if you can do it or not. So that's just whipping the grinder out and having a go. So let's go through a bit of a rundown of it. Okay, so like I said, it was a 2007 a DX wagon, so that's the chop there. So just a couple of little things with it. What I did was I got told, I looked everywhere on the internet and I'm looking on forums and all sorts of stuff, and I don't know if I just didn't do the research properly or I didn't find what I was looking for, but basically everybody said just use a back wall of a ute. So that's what I did. But silly enough for me, I've used the back wall, but what I did was I just cut the back wall of a ute. I went and bought one from the wreckers, and I cut probably 60-70 mil around the curve, if you can imagine, around the side of the ute, and cut it right around. And what I tried to do is I tried to fit that on the back. But if you can imagine, a ute basically only comes to here, but on a wagon, obviously you're chopping it here, so the shape of the car changes from there to there, so the actual wall doesn't fit, which is probably pretty obvious. But so what I had to do was these back walls come in 4 different sections. So you got your sides, your middle, and your top. So 2 sides, a middle, and a top. So basically what I had to do is drill out all these welds, and then separate all the panels, and then re-weld them all back together and cut them and fabricate them and get them to fit. So I suppose a lot of you are thinking, well, why don't you just get a metal sheet fabricated up to plonk on the back? But the problem is, when I cut this wagon back, I cut it back like here to allow for the curve of the back that I cut. So if I had it, I would have had it back here. So, but that would have interfered with the seatbelt mounts and everything just here on the inside. So I didn't want to muck around with that too much. So if you can imagine, it's a double layer skin. So you got the outside skin and you got all the reinforcement on the back. So I only cut the outside skin back, right, not the reinforcement. So the seatbelt stuff's all on the inside one. So yeah, so as you know, you live and learn. So yes, so it's a lot of heartache and a lot of hard work. So if you're ever thinking of doing it, do it if you want to have a go, and if you got some sort of gumption about you. But yeah, be prepared to make mistakes, and try and have a shed if you can too, because I did this in under a carport, and it's got rain and it's got dust, and it's just it's a nightmare. But would I do it again? Now that I know what not to do and what to do, yeah, I would do it again. I wouldn't mind doing an 80 series. I reckon an 80 series chop would be pretty cool. I know there's a lot of people are either a patrolman or a Land Cruiser. Patrols are awesome. I love patrols, but I don't mind the old Toyotas as well. So I think the old 80 series is probably one of the best out there. I don't think anybody can deny how good an 80 series is. So, so other things on the car. In 2014, when I did the Cape, I did a 2-inch lift on it, which is just an Ironman lift. So that's a few years old now. So I might have to look at getting some shockers. We'll see how we go. But yeah, it's just an Ironman setup. It's been great. I've found it pretty good. I know some people might disagree and reckon they're terrible or whatever, but I've never had any dramas. But on the rear, I had springs put in that were extra 200 kilos constant load. So when I was towing the camper trailer, it sat really nice. It was really good. Really happy with it. So I've never had any dramas with it. I reckon it's been a good suspension setup. So also, okay, so I bought this tray off Marketplace, and the guy who had it had a chopped patrol. So I was searching around for trays for ages, and I was thinking, I'm gonna have to modify it and do certain things. But I found this one, and it was about 200 or 300 mil longer, but I chopped it back because I didn't want it protruding past the toe ball too much. I just wanted to, I reckon it looks stupid when it just hangs over too much. But the guy who made it, he put these brackets in which sit on the old body mounts, so it all fits really good. What else? Okay, so I'll put this steel square box in here. It's about 6 mil thick, and got these shocker towers. It's a common thing that these bend up, and they were slightly bent when I put a straight edge on them. They were probably about 6 to 7 mil out, so I straightened them, and I just put a little bar on there just to hold them down so they don't come back up again. On the wall there, you can see I've done an engine mounted body mount, which goes to, there's like a little mini chassis rail under there. I don't know if you can see that, but so I've attached it to that just to give a little bit of strength, because you take away all the body mounts on the rear of the cab when you do the chop. Obviously, I still got to paint a bit of work here, and still got a little bit of work, but under here I want to put a tyre if I can fit one. It is going to be tight, and I don't want to drop the tank, because if you're dropping the tank, well, you're just making underneath the car less room. So hopefully I can get that done. On the side here, I'm going to get some boxes. They're getting made up at the moment. One of the mates is welding them up. Hopefully we'll get that done soon, and I can put them on. Out the front, I've got a winch put on it at the very start. It's just a 9,500 pound Ironman winch. I got that with the suspension as a sort of like a package. Now, just with the 2-inch lift and all that sort of stuff. So basically, when we did Cape York and Fraser Island, I'll post up some pictures, but we did that with steel split rims, because that's what came on the car, because it's a Telstra car, and just mild all terrains at a 2-inch lift. Did all the Cape, towing a camper trailer. I only got stuck once, and that was because, seriously, I was in a puddle probably that deep, and what had happened is the log was in the puddle, and I didn't see it, and I got caught up on the log. So I think there's a bit of a misconception out there that, you know, all these 4-wheel drive companies, they're only telling you got to have all this stuff because they want to sell you stuff. But I did all that on cheese cutters. It's all about tyre pressure. I know a lot of people want to get the 4-inch lifts and the big 35s, the big tyres, the big Cymexes and all that sort of stuff, but a 2-inch lift and average all terrains will get you to 95% of the places you want to go. So I'm based in Melbourne, so I do a bit of the high country, Jamison, all that sort of area, which is awesome. And yeah, I've never had any dramas, never done any ridiculously crazy tracks, but I do most of them, and yeah, it's been fine. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so roof rack. I had a roof rack up there originally, which I'll post some photos of the car when it was the original wagon, but it was one of those 4-wheel drive Super Centre flat racks. Flat racks was awesome, because with a 2-inch lift, it's sat at about 2.50 meters, which means when it was a daily driver, I could park under the car parks at 2.1. So it was real handy. If I had a rack with the sides on it, it wouldn't have fit. So that's why I went with the flat one, but it had rusted out, and because I've done the chop, it needs to be a shorter rack now anyway. What else is there? I think that's about it as a rundown of that. If you've got any questions, put it down in the comments below.